Hello and welcome to another episode of Moose's Gear Goo Review. My name's Moose and today we're doing another knife review of the Spyderco Endura 4 Full Serrations. Whoa, that is wicked. Alright, so this is the Spyderco Endura 4 Full Serration version mid backlock knife. My camera's, I almost have to hold it way out here just to show you. Boom. Alright, so I'm going to read off some specs. Let's check it out. So the overall length is 8.75 inches. Blade length is 3.75 inches. Cutting edge is 3.44 inches. The blade thickness is 0.125 inches. The handle thickness is 0.45 inches. The closed length, or basically the handle length, is 5 inches. And the overall weight of the knife is 3.67 ounces. Alright, so now let's look at the knife. So as you can see, just when it's closed, it's your typical standard great looking Endura knife, lockback. Mid-lockback knife. It's nothing too big, nothing different. But then once you open that blade, boom, you have this giant blade full of these angry looking serration teeth. And honestly, I mean, it looks really cool when you hold it and like the light hits the serrations, at different angles. It's almost like sparkly, like you're looking at some sort of like diamond encrusted knife, but at the same time it looks very menacing, and you can just tell that this thing could rip things to shreds. So overall, looking at the blade shape, it's Spyderco's kind of classic Endura Delica blade shape with the drop point at the very end there. It revs up right away to create a thumb ramp. You have the large Spidey hole or Spyderco hole there with, I'd say, a 1/3 main cutting bevel where it tapers down into the serrations. It's fully serrated blade except for the very tip. They got that little bit of plain edge blade there, but it's a full serration blade. It's fairly thick, or it's a decent amount thick for the knife, and the blade steel on it is VG10, and the knife is made in Seki City, Japan, so a Japanese production knife. You got the Spyderco logo. Then moving into the handle, it's your typical Endura 4 handle made from black FRN fiberglass reinforced nylon. We have the bidirectional textured grip, which does an excellent job, especially with these large portions of the handle there. Your thumb or whatever can just get locked into that. It's also chamfered, or at least rounded out here to provide better ergonomics for the hand. You can almost bite up 2 fingers there, or you could move back, finger in the middle. So definitely an excellent knife choice for people with larger size hands. For some of those bigger guys who have trouble finding a knife that they can get a full grip on, this would be a good one. If you look inside the handle, there are 2 steel liners on both sides. I'm not sure if you'll be able to see that, but they are milled out or skeletonized to reduce weight. We have the mid backlock with the David Boyd, I believe it's David Boyd detent. I'll try to verify that, but don't quote me if I'm wrong. Which actually, when you're running your finger along here, you'll fall into that detent there, and then you can get grip, push. A lot easier to close one-handed with the mid backlock rather than a true backlock. Locks in solid. On the other side, you have a painted black hourglass Spyderco pocket clip that rests on that Endura logo flat, so that way it won't tear up your pocket as bad. You have the lanyard hole in the butt end, and the pocket clip is 4-way reversible, tip up, tip down, left, right carry. Real quick demonstration of the serrations. Pretty awesome. Excellent slicer. This thing rips through cardboard. Super good. That being said, let's compare it to some other knives. This is the biggest knife in my collection for now. I'm probably going to trade it though, but we will compare it to some other of my larger knives. I don't have many because I don't see them as being, that practical. But we have the Paramilitary 2, Spyderco Paramilitary 2. We have the H&K Axis folder. And then we have the Bird Raven 2. As you can see, handle-wise, the Endura's handle is basically the same as the H&K handle, or even better, the Paramilitary 2 handle. Say the Bird Raven 2 has the smallest handle out of the 3 knives. Blade length, ever so slightly, you can see that the Endura is the longest blade out of these 3. And yeah, it's a big old blade. The only other thing is the thickness, blade thickness. On the Paramilitary 2 on the left is thicker than the Endura, so it isn't as thick as the Paramilitary 2. The H&K Axis folder is thicker as well. And then, of course, the Bird Raven 2 is thicker. I love this knife. This knife is so good. Just saying. Okay, so that being said, our last test for the full serration Endura is the ugly brown glove test. So we're going to see if we can close it. Now, luckily, on these Enduras and Delicas, there is this flat spot here. So if you put your finger up at the top of this handle right there, when it closes, that flat is going to hit your finger rather than any sharpened edge of the blade. Now, I recommend with any and all lockbacks that you always close them with 2 hands, but just to demonstrate if this is open, if you can open it and close it with a gloved hand, I will demonstrate this now, but remember, warning, always use 2 hands. So I push, I have my finger in the forward part, down, and then I reach around and close it. So it is closable there, and the large thumb hole does work with these cloth gloves. I can open it and close it and even flick it out. So and the grip, the bidirectional textured grip, locks in on this fabric really well, and it's really actually works really well for gloves. So definitely passes the ugly brown glove test. Thumb up for that one. And that's about it. So if you're looking for a really cool knife, or you just love the serrations, or you love the look, this is a great knife that would look really cool on the shelf. I wouldn't necessarily carry this out in public so much. I think the serrations can be a little bit intimidating for non-knife enthusiasts. So be responsible, be respectful of others, but definitely a good knife, definitely a cool knife. So check it out. Be sure to like, subscribe, comment. You could click on the eye in the upper right-hand corner for links to some of my other videos. And thank you. Have a good day.